Hello everybody, I hope you are all well and safe, and it's so nice to make another video for you. It's an English video, and this one is all about those two words, one in red, here we are in red, top, and blue just below it. And today's lesson is going to be, we're going to learn a bit about those two words, how they're the same, how they're different. We're also going to learn a little bit more about homophones generally, and words which have phon or phone in them. So, the first question for you to all think about. The words here, one in red, one in blue. Are these two words homophones? Remember, homophones are words that sound the same, but have a different meaning to each other. And they come to us from the Greek language. Homo means the same in Greek, and phon means sound or voice. So homophone means same sound. Now, before we go any further in our lesson, we're going to start our starter. And I'd like you to try and think of some other words in English that have phon, spelt P-H-O-N, or phone, P-H-O-N-E. So can you think of some words in English that have phon or phone in, where that means sound? So pause the video, have a think. Can you think of 3 words? Or 5 words even? Okay, let's keep going. So, I found a little list in the dictionary here. Phon comes from Greek, has the meaning sound, voice. So here's a list of words. Cacophony, homophone, megaphone, microphone, phonetic, phonics, phonograph, phonology, polyphony, saxophone, stereophonic, symphony, telephone, xylophone. And for our starter, I've got 5 pictures. And each of the pictures is one of the words here in the list. And you need to now write on a piece of paper in your book, A, that's a picture of something we use to make our voices loud. Sometimes it's called a loud hailer. But it has a name that's somewhere on this list. Which one? Then B, you'll see singers, or sometimes somebody in our worship assemblies. They'll be using one of these. I wonder which of the words it is. Then C is a musical instrument. We actually looked at this in science when we were doing higher and lower pitch. This is another musical instrument, D. And E, we all know what that one is. So you've got to write down A, whatever the word is, B, whatever the word is. And for challenge, one of the words on that list in the box means a horrible, harsh, loud mix of sounds. When that's hurting my ears. Stop that. Which word would it be? You might need to look a few of them up in the dictionary if you weren't sure what they meant. Okay, so have a go at that. When you're finished, we'll start the video again. Pause it now. See you in a minute. Okay, moving on. We're looking now at these words, one in red, one in blue, and they are homophones. They say whose and whose, and they sound the same, but they have a different meaning. So when we're writing, we really do need to choose the right spelling for the meaning of the sentence. So let's look at it now. Whose, over here in blue. Whose, the apostrophe tells us, can you see the apostrophe here? I'll try and just highlight it. Alright, can you see? I'll just put a little mark around it. That apostrophe, the apostrophe tells us that the 2 words were put together. 2 words were put together, and a letter, or more than one letter, is missing. So we use whose when we mean, secretly, we mean who is. So can you see, we started with who is, and we put those words together. We missed out the I and replaced it with an apostrophe. And we get whose. And it's a little bit confusing, so we've got to think about it carefully. It's the same thing for who has. We write who has. We cross out now not just one letter, but two, the H and the A, and we put an apostrophe. And we get whose. Both of those become whose. Who is and who has. Now, looking across to here, whose, that does not mean who is or who has. That means belongs to who, or who does it belong to, or belonging to who. So we use that whose, that red whose, when we are saying one thing belongs to somebody or to something. So we'll do a few practice examples and then it will set you off on your work. So, let's look at the sentence. It's a blank. We've got to choose the blue or the red whose. So we know it's going to say, who's the best footballer in the world? Messi or Ronaldo? Well, what do I need to think? What does it mean? Who's the best footballer in the world? Does it mean who is the best footballer in the world? Or who has the best footballer in the world? Or who's belonging to the best footballer in the world? It means who is the best footballer in the world. So we are going to want to write whose with the apostrophe to show it really means who is. Let's have a look at our next question. Whose pencil has fallen on the floor? Whose pencil? Does it mean, if it's a blue one, it would mean who is pencil has fallen on the floor? That doesn't make sense. What about who has pencil has fallen on the floor? Oh no, that doesn't make sense either. It's got to be the red one because we're talking about whose pencil, the pencil that belongs to who. So, that must be that we are going to write whose like this. Whose pencil has fallen on the floor. Well, we've got two more, and then I'll show you your work, and you can be getting on with it. Right, who's remembered to underline the title of their writing? Asked the teacher. We always try to underline the title. Who's remembered to underline the title? Does it mean who is remembered? No. Who has remembered? Yes, who has remembered. So it's going to be who with an apostrophe to show that it started off as who has. We got rid of the H and the A in the contraction and we replaced them with an apostrophe. Let's go on to our last one we're doing together. If you are bilingual, it means you can speak two languages very well. Who's bilingual in our class? Asked the teacher. Well, what does who's mean? That's what it's all about in today's lesson. Who's bilingual? Does it mean who is bilingual? Or who has bilingual? Or does it mean belonging to somebody? Something belonging to somebody? Oh, I know. It's who is bilingual. So I better write it in with an apostrophe to show that it was who, apostrophe whose. It started off as who is, didn't it? We got rid of the apostrophe, sorry, the I, and we put the apostrophe in. So your work. Oh, sorry, there was one more. Mr. McMullen was wrong. Okay, I'm not sure whose bag this is, said Max, holding up a red backpack. I'm not sure whose bag this is, said Max, holding up a red backpack. Or is it, I'm not sure who is bag this is? No. I'm not sure who has bag this is? No. This is a bag that belongs to who? That's what Max is asking. I'm not sure. Look, it's got to be whose, because it means it belongs to who? Who does this bag belong to? I'm not sure whose bag this is. Okay, so your work, you can, if you don't have a printer or it's hard to print things out, you can just, for the first ones, write one, and then you read the sentence, whose car is that over there? And then you've got to choose to write the correct whose. You could just write number one and which one of the whose it is. Number two, who's excited when it is Christmas time? No, who's excited when it is Christmas time? Who's done their homework already? Their teacher asked whose pencil case was on the floor. Somebody knocked on the door. Who's there? Said the teacher, Miss Jones. I'm not sure who's coming to my party tonight, said Aaliyah. So I put a reminder, remember, up in the corner, and then when you're finished, you can have a go at the level 2 questions. And that means, for those, you've got to write 5 of your own sentences, which have either whose or whose in them. And I'm just going to quickly change this. Who's excited when it is Christmas time? Who's excited when it is Christmas time? Okay, I hope you all enjoy doing the work. And if you want to download this and print it out, then you can look in the link below in the description. Okay, bye guys. See you soon.